Good morning, everyone.
Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual,
I was here on time, but I had two problems before the show that I had to work out. I was actually here early.
919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start.
I'm embarrassed to tell everybody why I was here on time, but I'm getting on the air late.
For erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual
I had one of those Biden
frankly, any
senior
signs
moments.
of aging that you may have. And don't forget,
Good morning, everyone. Make sure you like the video. If you're new here, subscribe, click that notification bell. Here we go.
Better performance and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All righty, guys. Welcome. 19 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. And I'm a little late getting on the air today. That first segment was obviously from a show last week. And I was here on time, and I had two problems. And one is just a regular problem, no big deal. The second one's a bit embarrassing. I got to work, and I broke my glasses. So I had to deal with that so that I can read for the next 3 hours and get through the show reading my show prep. I guess I could do it if I couldn't read, but it would not be that easy. So I fixed my glasses with my Swiss Army knife, which was not it was very difficult to do because I didn't have my glasses to see the screw in, but I got it in. And then after that, I couldn't find my keys. I was out in the parking lot. I couldn't find my keys, and I'm looking all over the place for my keys, and I looked for my keys. It seemed like about 15 minutes. It may have only been a couple minutes, but so I got my glasses fixed, and I can't find my keys anywhere. And it was so bad, I even called my daughter to have her bring, I said, I was going to tell her I lost my keys, bring me a spare set. Because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get home. I don't know where the keys are. I looked through the parking lot. I'm like, where are the keys? Where are the keys? I had a Biden moment, people. I had a Biden moment. The keys, it's embarrassing to tell you. You know where the keys were? In the trunk. They were in the lock of the trunk. Okay, hey, listen. Biden doesn't even know what year it is, and he's running America. So, anyway. All right, at least, unlike Biden, I'm aware. Okay, I'm aware of my problem. I know I had a problem. Yes. The keys are in the lock of the trunk. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, welcome, everyone. We've got a lot to talk about. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Okay, so tomorrow is January 6th. The Democrats, the Democrats are planning to have a permanent memorial at the Capitol. They're going to do this. And even if we retake it's going to be done. They're going to pass this. They're going to get it built fast, because they don't want the new Congress to come in, led by Republicans, and stop the construction of it. And once it's built, to tear it down, they would have you can't tear down memorials and statues. Wait, you've been doing it all over the country. Yeah, but that's us. So they're going to have, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are planning for a large January 6th insurrection memorial at the Capitol. and they didn't say where it will be, but it will be in a prominent place. And that's a bad thing to happen, and hopefully we can stop it from happening. But that's their plan. And tomorrow, of course, they're getting snowed out. They were planning a humongous memorial event outside where Pelosi and Kamala and Joe would come out and make speeches, and then members of Congress could come and share their stories, and make it kind of like a 9/11 memorial. People after 9/11, people even still today, people love to tell you your 9/11 story. I got news for you. No one cares about your 9/11 story but you. We all have a story that day. It's like, it's like when I was a kid, everybody used to remember where they were when they heard President Kennedy was shot. That's how 9/11 was. And then they got to tell you this long-winded story that no one cares about. It's like those license plates that are out now, thankfully, that said, you remember those license plates? Let me tell you about my grandchildren. No one cares about your grandchildren or your children's stories but you, okay? And if you're telling anyone about your grandchildren, you're boring them to death. Yeah, it's a good way to get rid of pests you don't want around. Just tell them about your grandchildren. But anyway, that's what they were going to do. They're going to have like a 9/11-like memorial. They would probably have family members of the Capitol Police come out and talk. It was. Now they've gotten snowed out. There's been a blizzard all week long. You've seen the stories, and it's really like divine intervention. We were talking about this yesterday with PJ. And there's another snowstorm expected tomorrow. Now, I did reference this with PJ, that it reminds me of President Reagan's second inauguration. During President Reagan's second inauguration, there was a massive blizzard in Washington. And what they did, because all these high school bands and people come for the inaugural parade, they didn't want them to be let down and disappointed. So what they did is they took it inside an auditorium. President Reagan let all the bands come in the auditorium, and they did an event inside an auditorium. The snowstorm is not going to completely stop the January 6th propaganda Leni Riefenstahl production that they were planning tomorrow, but it's going to lessen it quite a bit. They'll find a way to keep doing it. And if you don't get the Leni Riefenstahl reference, Google it. But they'll take it indoors somewhere, but it'll be a watered-down version of what they were planning. Now, President Trump announced yesterday that he is not having his Mar-a-Lago press conference tomorrow on January 6th. That's an interesting thing, and he said it's because he's got a rally coming up, which he does in Arizona, and he's going to talk there at the rally what he was going to talk about at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a security issue because we just passed, the anniversary of that Iranian general being taken out by Trump, and I remember when that happened. President Trump, when they took out I can't remember the exact date. Was it yesterday? Was it? It was this week, because they're talking a lot about it now. I remember. When that happened, when they took out the Iranian general, President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago, and I went up to the Palm Beach airport I was doing a live stream on YouTube, and I went up to the Palm Beach airport because President Trump had Air Force One parked there, and it was gone. And President Trump had been whisked away. I drove around the whole airport; it was gone. President Trump had been whisked away after that due to security concerns, even though Mar-a-Lago is a fortress. They, with a total secret mission, got him and the First Lady out of Mar-a-Lago because Air Force One was gone. And I was on YouTube that day, and some of you that follow me on YouTube may remember that, maybe you don't. And I think he called off his event tomorrow because of that. I know a lot of people are going to say, if they have not already said it, oh, he wasn't going to get press coverage. No one was going to cover it. Well, no, that's not true. Some people would cover it. A lot wouldn't, but some would have covered it. But I think it's the security issue with the Iranian general because of, when he was in office, it wasn't safe for him there when they had an army at Mar-a-Lago. So that's what's going on there. And it's unfortunate, but hey, that's life. And winners like President Trump, when there's an obstacle, they find a way to overcome them. That's how you're successful in industry and business, and he'll find a way, and his rally will be massive. But watch the media. No one in the media is going to tell you what I just told you. They're going to say, oh, he didn't do it, he cowered out, he had no press coverage. No, it's security. They probably, Secret Service probably would not allow President Trump to have the event tomorrow. Okay, now the January 6th committee, they've got nothing. And what they're doing right now is fishing. They're on a massive fishing expedition. And they're trying to trap Sean Hannity. And this was first reported in Axios. And so I'm going to read you this story from Axios. The January 6th Select Committee, this is the Kangaroo Committee. They call it a select committee of corrupt public officials who are abusing the offices that they hold. The January 6th Select Committee of corrupt public officials, they didn't say corrupt public officials in Axios, I added that, has requested Fox News Channel host Sean Hannity voluntarily cooperate with its investigation of the assault on the U.S. Capitol, says a source with direct knowledge of the plan told Axios, and the committee has confirmed it. Hannity is one, and this is what Axios is saying. Why does this matter, Hannity? Hannity is one of the most prominent media figures in America and was a close advisor to Donald Trump throughout his presidency. The Corrupt Kangaroo Committee revealed last month that Hannity texted then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows during the riot to urge him to get Trump to stop his supporters. In a letter to Hannity, chair of the Corrupt Committee, Benny Thompson, Democrat, and vice chair, corrupt daughter of war criminal Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, wrote that they seek voluntary cooperation on a specific and narrow range of factual questions and are not seeking information regarding any of your broadcast or your political views or commentary. There's more. Don't do it, Sean Hannity. Don't do it, Hannity. Do not go. Unless you are commanded by a subpoena, do not go. It's remember Admiral Akbar? It's a trap. Okay? It's a trap, Sean Hannity. Once you're there, once you start cooperating. Jay Sekulow, counsel to Sean Hannity, told Axios, if true, any such request would raise serious constitutional issues, including First Amendment concerns regarding freedom of the press. Well, they don't consider Hannity the press, but he is. Hannity condemned the attack on the U.S. Capitol, saying on his show on the night after the riot that all of today's perpetrators must be arrested and prosecuted. And, of course, I echo that, and so does every other responsible person, and that's what's been happening. Then they go on. But Hannity has never criticized Trump for his role in ginning up the crowd in D.C. that day. He has criticized the committee investigating January 6th. That's right. He has not criticized President Trump in his role because he had no role in it. That's why. There's nothing to criticize. Axios has not been able to establish the nature of the cooperation the committee plans to ask of Hannity. Committee officials have said Hannity was among several Fox News hosts who were texting Mark Meadows during the riot. And the reason that is, listen, the media have always had contacts in the White House directly like that. This is just the first time that the non-mainstream corporate media had contacts and the mainstream media didn't. And the reason that Hannity and others were texting Mark Meadows is because they had his direct cell phone and they were seeing what was going on in the Capitol before it was getting on television. They were on social media, like many of you. I saw what was going on social media. It was not on television. I couldn't believe what was going on. And they were, Hannity and others, Don Jr. and others, were texting Mark Meadows because they had information that had not yet come out through government sources, to let Mark Meadows know so that he could let the president know, President Trump, what was going on inside the Capitol. There's nothing corrupt about that. They were doing a public service. And that, you know what? Everyone knows this, but they don't care because they want someone. They're trying. You know, they did this with when they were going after the campaign managers of Trump, right? 2 campaign managers charged, 1 put in prison. You know, and what they're trying to do. Remember what they said. Remember what they said, right? They said, this was it came out in the Page and Strzok text. Lisa Page texted Peter Strzok that she had bought a copy of All the President's Men by Woodward and Bernstein, and that was their guide map on how to deal with Trump. So what they've been trying to do for many years, without success, is create this illusion, this delusion, but to create this false narrative that all the president's men, Meadows, Hannity, Don Jr., Tucker, all the president's men are corrupt and were involved in an insurrection. And they have found no action that President Trump took that had anything to do with it because he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't have anything to do with it. He was just as surprised as the rest of the world. And yeah. So now what they're doing is they're trying to say, well, Hannity and others texted Mark Meadows and Trump did nothing. Now what they're trying to establish, this is real desperation. Yeah, I tell you, President Trump is a squeaky clean Marine. Who else on the planet Earth could go through what he's gone through and they find nothing on him or trap him into something? What they're trying to do now with all these text messages of Hannity and others is to establish that Trump's inaction is action. Does that make sense? And you heard Liz Cheney said the other day, oh, well, you know, he knew and he didn't do anything. He could have walked across the hall and done that. Yeah. So now they can't find any actions that President Trump took that had anything to do with the Capitol breach because he didn't take any. So now they're trying to say that his inaction is actually, in fact, an action. But Hannity should not cooperate. Once you get involved in that, unless you get subpoenas and you're ordered through subpoenas in courts and things like that, but just to be a nice guy, screw that. These are not nice people, Sean Hannity, and I'm sure Hannity and Jay Sekulow know that. The letter from the committee cited text conversations with Mark Meadows in which Hannity said, and a bunch of things. I'm not going to read through all these things because it goes on. We don't need to, this is all stuff we know. But this is a very dangerous time we're in. Okay? And what we have going on in this society right now, in this country, is something I never thought would happen. There's a purge going on. There have been purges in other countries. Stalin's Russia, Castro's Cuba, Hitler's Germany. There's been purges in other countries around the world, but we didn't think it could happen here, and it is happening. And these people will never give up. And this is something that those of us that are conservative, those of us that are MAGA, those of us that love and support Trump, we're going to have to deal with this for the rest of our lives with the constant disclaimers that shouldn't even have to be disclaimed, that we're opposed to the Capitol breach, that it was wrong, and those who broke the law should be prosecuted. No? There are people who have been committing violence for over a century, including the real insurrection, which was the attack on Fort Sumter by the Democrats. All right, let's take our break here. 37 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back right after this.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at
Steve Kane Show.
strategicmanufacturers.com.
Yep.
Hi, Tom LaPorta here from LaPorta Contracting, Roofing and Building.
Good morning, Debbie.
We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. LaPorta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers
Mac Cheese, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Mac Cheese.
concrete restoration.
Brian, ever think to give a moment on your show to Ashley Babbitt? I have many times. Yeah.
LaPorta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call LaPorta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at LaPortaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Yeah, when you call Tom LaPorta, do not forget to ask him about the Trump roof. He has the exact roof tiles that are on Mar-a-Lago, which are very select and multicolored, okay? And it takes a special technique to do it. You can have a Trump roof on your home. And, Tom LaPorta does every type of roof there is. Every type of roof. Not just the different styles and materials, but every type of building, okay? Churches, single-family homes, condos, whatever it is. He does it. And he's available throughout the entire state of Florida. So no matter where you are in Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West and everywhere in between, give Tom LaPorta a call. He's a good MAGA guy, and he can help you. Here's his number. And this number rings directly to his cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Online, LaPortaContracting.com. All right, welcome back, everyone. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Yeah, this thing with Hannity in the committee, Hannity, he's not a Republican. He is a registered conservative, and I've always found that kind of wimpy, and I feel the reason he does that is so that he doesn't offend any Republicans, so he doesn't have to take a side, because you hear him say, well, I can't vote in the Republican primary in New York. I'm a registered conservative. Oh, yeah. It seems to be a cowardly way out. And also, he never has to take a chance on saying who he's going to vote for and then losing in the primary. You know what I'm saying? So, I always find that kind of wimpy of Hannity. But listen, if you get subpoenas and things like this, you got to do what they tell you to do, what you're commanded to do. But he should not volunteer to go over there unless they command it, because it is a trap. And I want you to think about this. There are 3 talk show hosts that this committee are after: Sean Hannity, Alex Jones, and Steve Bannon. You think that's a coincidence that they're targeting 3 very influential voices and influencers in conservative media? I'm sure Tucker will be on the list at some point. Never seen anything like this. Every member of the media, no matter who the administration has been in the past, their presidents, chief of staffs, and others inside have had personal relationships with people in the media that go back years. Sometimes they even have family working in the White Houses. So they're going after 3 very prominent members of conservative media. Where's the ACLU? Where is the media defending? Remember when, One American News was removed from the White House press briefing room? when CNN was removed, they went to court. And not only was CNN's Jim Acosta disrespectful to the president, he got into a scuffle with the female aide with the microphone. He was fighting with her. He got physical with her. Remember that? He sued and let him back in. They let him back in. So where's the media talking about this harassment of 3 members of the media? Bannon, Alex Jones, and Hannity. Scary times we're in, people. Very scary times. And I talk about this a lot because I don't think enough people realize how this country is not as free as it was a year ago. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Between COVID and January 6th, the political establishment, not just the liberals, the rats, Republicans against Trump, everyone calls them rhinos, working with the Democrats and the media, are using both of these crises, COVID and January 6th, to make excuses for them to do what it is they're doing. They are attacking high-profile members of the media. Could you imagine if Republicans, okay, when Republicans come back and take over both houses after the red wave of President Trump this year, if the Republicans put together a House Select Committee on the Russia hoax, and they bring in and they want Rachel Maddow to come in, who was one of the leaders promoting the nonsense out of the Russia hoax, do you think the media would sit by in silence if Rachel Maddow was being called by a committee led by Jim Jordan in the Russia hoax investigation in a Republican-controlled House? I don't think so. And, you know, conservative media is still new. It's been around for about 20 years when Fox News rose during the 2000 election as a player. Before that, it was fringe. But it's been a player for about 20 years or so. But that's still, you know, with the era of Trump was the first time that the conservative media had a connection and influence in the White House at that level. And they just can't handle it. And what they're doing, there's a lot of things they're doing here. One of the things they're doing is to intimidate other people in conservative media in the future from cooperating with anyone who's MAGA, not part of the establishment. And the ACLU and other members of the media need to stand up for Steve Bannon, for Alex Jones, and Sean Hannity. Just because someone's an opinion journalist doesn't mean they're not a journalist. Rachel Maddow's an opinion journalist. Lawrence O'Donnell's an opinion journalist. Jim Acosta, Don Lemon. These are all opinion journalists. Who isn't an opinion journalist in television news these days? They all are. We don't have impartial journalists anymore, ever. Really, you don't. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. I'm going to take the last break of the first hour. We'll be back with your calls. If you're on hold, stand by. Back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
You need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough.
Wesley Lewis, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Wesley. Good morning, Brian. These people on the Kangaroo Committee and the establishment need to be defeated every day if MAGA can put that plan into action. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ryan Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 ball tires in the back of my Infinity. I called them up, I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody had
tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. Or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate. And that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, and remember, Friendly Tire is also open on Saturdays. I stopped in yesterday, back to normal hours after the holiday season, and I talked to Friendly Mike yesterday, and he was doing a repair on a listener's tire. That's right. So, open on Saturdays as well. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike. K-Dawzilla. $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank K-Dawzilla.
By calling them, they're hoping to basically do what Palpatine did in Star Wars. Remember, he tried to turn Luke to the dark side.
You know, I don't know why. I know I quoted Admiral Akbar earlier. So now is that what's triggering the Star Wars reference?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Steve may be out sick, but he'll kill me with that one. You know, I did. You know what I this morning before I left home, I watched episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. I couldn't wait till after the show. I watched it this morning. Very good.
Yeah. But we know how these committees work. I mean, we saw it. We've seen it years and years and years. Though, call these guys. You're supposed to have a certain amount of time to answer a question. But what they do is they'll ask a question. Let's say you're supposed to have 5 minutes to answer a question. Well, these people will get up and ask a question. They'll take 5 minutes to ask the question.
Yeah, and then when you start to answer, they say, "Reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time." You know, yeah, that's what they do. Hey, Mike, thanks for the call. You know, there's a lot of things in play with this committee. They you know, they got nothing. They know they got nothing, and now they're on this fishing expedition. They want to go through Hannity's cell phone. You kidding me? That's insane. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Bill from George Zimmerman's neighbor.
Oh, Sanford, Florida. Bill in Sanford, Florida. How you doing?
Fine. I have a question. When the committee's investigating only conservatives, what about Nancy Pelosi, the National Guard, the FBI, the copy of the tapes? Why aren't more Republicans bringing that out?
Because this is a kangaroo court. This committee is the most fraudulent investigative body ever brought by the Congress that I know of. I mean, this is insane what's going on. Their conclusions have already been determined before the committee members were even picked.
Well, you know, I was watching Media Buzz the last Sunday, and they had Guy Benson on and some gal.
Oh, but Guy Benson, he's married to a man, isn't he?
He's got to be an anti-Trump.
Is Guy Benson gay, married to a guy? I don't know. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of.
Is he what now?
I think he's married to a man, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, Guy Benson. Okay. Yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And
he doesn't look like he's married to a guy, though, does he? He looks like a regular guy.
No, years ago we used to see him all the time on conservative TV.
Mm-hmm.
And now then he's been gone for a while. That I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday for the first time in a while. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's an anti-Trump. No question.
Well, a lot of so-called conservatives hate Trump.
Jeez. I mean, it's just. I think the Republicans need to go out there and start bringing this up, because right now this committee is all one side, and like you know and I know that it's kangaroo, but still, they have to get their message out to the American people. MSNBC and CNN gets it out wrong every day. Mm-hmm. I just think we should fight back.
Well, I mean, we're not in power right now. And that's the problem. We're not in the White House. We don't control the Congress, and we have a lot of Benedict and Beatrice Arnolds, like Liz Cheney, Beatrice Arnold, the daughter of a war criminal. We have Eva Braun passing judgment on our great president Donald Trump. But I don't think anyone has put together what I put together, how they're going after conservative media. Bannon, Hannity, and Alex Jones are conservative talk show hosts with huge influence in the MAGA conservative movement in this country. And it's not a coincidence that the committee are after these three very influential men in conservative media. They're trying to declare conservative media, at least these guys, hate speech and dangerous and seditious.
Well, that's why they have. I mean, they can hold news conferences. They can go on Sunday talk shows and start bringing it up, because then they have the audience of some liberals too. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the deal, okay? I mean, Fox News has a lot of problems. They've cleaned up a little bit, but Fox News isn't just number one. It's number one by far. I mean, by far. And the others can't even have no hope of catching up to it. So this is definitely attack on Fox News. But actually though, someone sent me yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm not sure if I have it here on my iPad. But let me see here, because I know I had this yesterday. I can't find it now. But anyway, the ratings comparing the different people like Tucker Carlson, CNN, and everything, and Joe Rogan has many times the listeners and viewers that Tucker Carlson has. Tucker Carlson has the #1 show in cable news history. Higher ratings than Larry King, who was on with no competition. And Joe Rogan has maybe 4 to 5 times the number of people listening and following him than Tucker. Well, that's what scares me, because if you remember, when he first went to Spotify, the wokesters, snowflakes over at Spotify, were clamping down on him. And now all of a sudden, he seems to be free range, talking about things that no one else is talking about. We're being set up by Joe Rogan, okay? He is no conservative. He's a libertarian light. He likes to do stuff with Elon Musk on TV. I mean, it's just we're being set up with Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. I used to watch Fear Factor. I don't have a personal beef with the guy, but the left and the establishment are allowing Joe Rogan free range right now to try to make him the conservative voice of record above Tucker and Hannity and others. And boom, and then at some point that's going to come back to screw us. So everyone needs to be very careful. I like Joe Rogan, but do not make him the conservative voice. He is not the new Rush Limbaugh. It's very important for people to understand that, because there's a plot here.
Well, I'm not that much of aware of him until recently. Like you said, his audience is so large.
It's larger than like Hannity and Tucker put together. Yeah. Hey, listen. Absolutely.
How can you have the memorial has to be for Ashley Babbitt? That's the only one that died.
Well, they're claiming that people that died of natural causes after the event, or I think there was even maybe a suicide or two, I'm not sure, but that those are capital breach deaths too.
Anyways, that's stupid.
Well, listen, a memorial, the Capitol breach was wrong. I was appalled when I saw it. I wouldn't have gone into the building, and I don't think you would have either. But there's real questions as to how that happened, and we all know that. But to have a memorial about it, there have been many incidents during the holiday shows. I know a lot of you were off work and may have missed, but there have been many violent incidents at the Capitol building over the years, all done by Democrats, right? Bombs were set off by Democrats in the past. There were shootings by Democrats. There's been many an incident of violence committed at the Capitol building by Democrats throughout history. Many. And nobody even knows about them. There was one incident that involved conservatives, one out of many, and they're going to make a memorial about it. They're practically making it a national holiday. I mean, come on.
And an incident last year, the Department of Interior?
Yeah, but I'm talking about at the Capitol itself. I went through an article a couple weeks ago about it. I'm not sure if I still have it. I'll look for it. I have an article that went through all the incidents of violence that took place at the Capitol building, all by Democrats, except the breach. And none of them were ever memorialized. None of them were ever talked about, taught about, or, nothing. Hey, listen, I gotta run, but thanks for the call. All right, great. Hey, listen, 1 hour down, 2 to go. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Of course, we're here live Monday through Friday from 6 until 9 a.m., and we broadcast live on the radio on 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, and AM 1470. You can also listen to us on the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app. Just search for our station call letters, WWNN. You can even connect that to your Bluetooth. I do that sometimes. And you can also watch us live on YouTube. Just search Brian Craig Show on YouTube will pop up, and you'll get a high-definition picture of me in live video with a very vocal and sometimes overly opinionated chat room. And we're also on the air 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. Back for hour number 2 after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, the trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard. The grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, put them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 Royal Poinciana trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. Also, one of the Royal Poincianas in the front yard was actually choking out one of the oak trees. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the trees so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single-family home.
Greg, I'm not blaming Trump supporters.
Commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
But if you've got a beef with me, the phone works. I'm sure you got a phone. Well, I don't blame Trump supporters. I'm a Trump supporter.
954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919 654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1.
All right, guys, welcome back. 3 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning, it's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Now, Valentine's Day is a little more than a month away, and it's time to do that shopping. And there are no better gifts for your Valentine, male or female, young or old, than these great products at MyPillow.com. And with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, you get incredible deals at MyPillow.com. Plus, you're supporting the most pro-Donald Trump radio show on the planet and the great Mike Lindell, which cancel culture is trying to destroy. And if you click on the radio listener specials at MyPillow.com, you will see the specials that I'm talking about. Now, any special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. But I'm going to share with you what I'm calling the Brian Craig Valentine Bundle. It involves 3 things, but there are many other great gifts, too, for Valentine's Day there. And first, of course, is the MyPillow bathrobe. It comes in many different styles and colors for both men and women. And they have a bunch of new colors in and a new style of robe. They have the heavy MyPillow robe, which is spectacular. I have that. They also have a new lighter version, and it's 30% off promo. And with our promo code KANE, 30% off those MyPillow bathrobes. And with those bathrobes, you want to get the his and hers MyPillow My Slippers. These are just beautiful. I have a pair myself. Steve does. You've heard many of our listeners talk about how those that have neuropathy just disappears, evaporates in just minutes when they wear their MyPillow My Slippers, but they'll go great with your robe. They also have many styles and colors for both men and women. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with the promo code KANE. And finish off the Brian Craig Valentine's Day MyPillow bundle with they have men's and women's sleepwear to wear under that robe. That's 30% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. There's many other great items there. And again, any special you see, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE. No supply chain issues either. All these products are in stock and ready to send out to you. So go ahead and take care of that. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, let me take some calls before I bring up some new topics. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is the number, 888-465-2631. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, it's PJ.
Hey, PJ.
Yeah, hey, so anyway, let's get back to D. Yeah, I just looked at the D.C. weather for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow evening.
It looks like the the Winter Olympics will be taking place this week.
Yeah. It's without President Z. President Z.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? It's 90% chance of snow, 1 to 3 inches. Here's the deal. Everybody, like for example, Senator Tim Kaine of. By the way, did you see our own Jim Phoebe got stuck in the
yeah
for almost 24 hours?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he got saved. You know what happened? He showed a video. Some good Samaritan. I swear to God, it's true.
Jim DeFeed from Miami. Did he drive up in his car from Florida?
He said he was in New York and he was trying, but no, you can't fly. The airlines are.
That's true. That's true.
By the way, that's another thing. Anybody in Congress wanting to be at the little show there, and that starts. I found out it starts at 5:30 in the afternoon, and it'll go for a couple of hours at least. Forget about drive. I mean, who's like? Do you think Tim Kaine's going to say, "Hey, you know what? I just got stuck for 24 hours in the snow. I'm going to take a chance on driving to this little event and then drive home again."
Yeah, Tim Kaine he went over the line with the liberals one day when he says all lives matter. Remember that? He had to apologize for saying all lives matter.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Oh my goodness.
But the thing is, although Arbery's father said that too, so now I think it's allowed.
Yeah, but Arbery's dad was not very articulate. I mean, it was hard to understand him.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. You said that they're thinking of building a memorial for a January.
No, they've decided to do it. I have an article about it somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is it has to pass Congress. It'll probably pass. The House of Representatives will pass, but it takes 60 votes to pass in the Senate. I don't think they got 60 in the Senate.
I wouldn't be so sure. You're going by the rules and the laws and the regulations and everything. They want this bad. This January 6th memorial is a big deal. They already have the spot picked out. They haven't announced it yet, but they said it'll be a spot that's very prominent that you can't miss.
All right. Well, you know what? They can build a memorial, but you know what? Guess what? After the Republicans retake the House and Senate and then the presidency in 2024, I'm just saying there's a certain name of somebody. I don't know. It's YouTube. I don't want to mention.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be there. But, if they put the statue up, first, the Republicans don't have the guts to take it down. But if they did, I would love to hear the Democrats, you can't tear down statues? You can't take down memorials? I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Probably a story that I've written that might be up in the next day or two.
You're gonna get on a list. You're going to get on one of those J. Edgar Hoover lists if you're not already on it.
Well, I'm already on the YouTube list for...
No, really? Oh, no. Yeah, I heard about that. I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, actually. Well, don't get me in trouble. And talk about what got you. All right, PJ, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative.
Hey, Doug.
The gentleman was just talking about being stuck in the snow. I was just wondering how many of his people who were so global warming are worried what they're thinking every time it snows like this, that there's no global warming or we got to just not...
Well, whenever you point out, well, wait a minute, what about global warming? There's a snowstorm. What the Democrats, what they say is, you're talking about weather, we're talking about climate. And you don't understand the difference between weather and climate. And you know what? They're right. I have no... It's the same thing. Climate, it's the same thing. It's just climate would be weather. It's the same thing. It's weather.
Anyway, these Democrats remind me of Antifa rioting. They're pulling everything. Now they want Joe and Hannity. In New York, they're taking the Trump kids and bringing them in for subpoena. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, I thought the children of the presidents were off limits. And you look at what they're doing. But they've always done this. When Ronald Reagan was president, what the left did to Ron Reagan... Hey, by the way, thanks for the call, Doug. What the left did to the Reagan children was similar to this. Ron Reagan Jr. was a wannabe actor and ballet dancer. And Hollywood gave him a career, and they gave him a part in a big movie starring C. Thomas Howell, James Earl Jones, and Ray Dong Chong called Soul Man. And President Reagan was president at the time, and they cast Ron Reagan Jr. as a character who was throughout this movie, who used every racial slur that you can name in the movie. He played a racist who used every racial slur about every ethnicity. He thought he was going to make it in Hollywood, and he was just being used by... So they, the first children, the children of the presidents, are only off limits if it's a Democrat president. I mean, remember the daughters of G.W. Bush? One of them ordered a drink at a Mexican restaurant in Texas, and they had pictures of them all over the place, you know. And to call in the children of Donald Trump, I thought children were off limits, but apparently they're not. A couple things here, though. The groping charges against Andrew Cuomo have been completely dropped, and they've also cleared him of any wrongdoing in the Holocaust of the seniors of New York that he is directly responsible for by his orders of sending people from the hospital with COVID to the nursing homes. And his record it's all gone. It's all gone. And I was talking yesterday, Janice Dean said, well, if Governor Cuomo did nothing wrong, why did he resign? Yeah, good question. But here's the deal. And this is my prediction for this. You've heard it here. Maybe, and this is what's going on. They've cleared him of the Holocaust charges. They've cleared him of the groping. It's very obvious why they've done this. The Democrats plan on running Andrew Cuomo for president of the United States. That's what's going on here. They've got no one else. Their guy doesn't even know what year it is. Listen to this. This is Biden yesterday. Scary. Joe Biden yesterday. Man's got his finger on the button.
A lot of reason to be hopeful in 2020.
A lot of reason to be hopeful in 2020. That was yesterday. A lot of reason to be hopeful in 2020. Oh, boy. Hand on the button, nuclear football, running the country, running the free world. Oh, my goodness. Doesn't know what year it is. But be hopeful, 2020. By the way, 2020 was like one of the worst years of our lives because that was the year of COVID. 2020 was a terrible year. I don't want anything with 2020 on it. I want to forget 2020. Bad year, bad year. Who wants to remember that? And he's telling us, he thinks, so, when he says that, does he think it's 2019? But anyway, that's what they got. So they're clearing the way for Andrew Cuomo to be the Democrat nominee for president of the United States. Everyone's talking about this fight for the speakership, with the Democrats, because Nancy's retiring from that role. So she says, I don't know if I believe it, but that's what they say. The real fight is going to be for the Democrat nomination. Because they're passing over they're not just passing over Biden. And Biden may think it's 2019 or 2020. We're not sure by that comment. He could think it's the beginning of 2020. He could think the new year is just coming up and it's 2019. I don't know. But, so he may not understand what the hell's going on with this. But Jill Biden will. And she likes being First Lady a lot. And so they're passing up Joe and Jill. And they're also passing over Kamala Harris. And because nobody likes her and she's an incompetent fool. And, Kamala Harris, she could come out at a moment's notice and play the race card against them. And they'd be in big trouble. Black woman, first black woman to be vice president, she's entitled to the nomination, according to party rules. Now, I know they'll say, well, Biden didn't get the nomination after Obama's second term. Yeah, this guy, he had a lot of business dealings going on. He's for sale. That's, passed over for the nomination of vice president. She hasn't been in D.C. for 50 years, like Joe, who doesn't know what year it is. So this is going to be a big fight, but they're definitely planning on running Governor Cuomo. And I'll tell you, Democrats will vote for him en masse. They like Governor Cuomo. All that Me Too stuff, they forget about all that when it's one of their own. They don't care. They really don't care. Or they wouldn't let, think about it. All those seniors that died in the nursing homes, that was New York. They were almost all Democrats. How many thousands of Democrats in the nursing homes, seniors, are dead because of Cuomo? I don't know. What does Janice Dean put the number at? So he is directly responsible for a mass death incident among Democrat senior citizens in New York, and they don't care. So Democrats, they don't care about anything. They just care about that D next to their name. They used to say this a lot, that Democrats, in particular, the Century Village, which many people still call Cemetery Village, big retirement village right down the street from here in Deerfield. People used to call that Cemetery Village. and large Jewish population there, and they used to say that the Jews in Century Village would vote for Adolf Eichmann if he had a D next to his name on the ballot. And when you're talking about liberals, that is definitely the case. And the seniors in New York that are Democrats will vote for Andrew Cuomo in a heartbeat, even though there were thousands and thousands of their fellow senior citizen Democrats that are dead because of him. They just... It's all about that D that gets them all excited. Democrat, not that D. Oh, man. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call from anywhere, 1-888-465-2631. Oh, man, I tell you. I know, this is really scary times we're in, people. I've never seen anything quite like this. But we're getting through it. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. We all know how beautiful and lush Florida is, with the abundance of trees and bushes. But if you want your home to look great, all of that greenery needs to be trimmed and well kept. So when it comes to trimming your trees, you want a pro, one who knows how to cut, when to cut, and the difference in each type of tree. And the best in South Florida are the professionals at GoPro Professional Property Care. With over 50 years of experience in South Florida, they know what's best for your trees and how to make your home look spectacular. With all the electrical wiring around, tree trimming is too dangerous to do yourself and requires a professional that you will not find by hiring just some guy with a truck who knocks on your front door. In fact, tree trimming is so much more than just cutting branches. It's about maintenance and keeping your trees healthy and having curb appeal. GoPro Professional Property Care is licensed and insured, available 24/7 for any tree emergency. GoPro does it all too. Tree trimming, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, root removal, lawn care, and installation. And that's just the start of what they do. Call Nathan. He's Steve Kane's personal tree trimmer, and now he wants to work with you. 954-680-7739. He's also available for condos, HOAs, and businesses. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441.
Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you, Wesley. Everyone thank Wesley. Watch out for the revised VAR being negotiated in Congress right now. Very scary stuff. I don't know if I can take any more scary stuff.
Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, 22 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I see the sun coming up over the beach. I'm looking over at the Deerfield Beach, actually, out the window here. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. A January 6th inmate is being starved to death. This is in the Washington Examiner. You know, what are these different organizations that help prisoners that are being abused, right? Amnesty International, International Red Cross. I know there's a lot of American organizations that are always griping about prisoners and prison conditions. Where are they during the abuse and torture that is going on with these Americans that are being held? Now listen, I don't defend anybody that went in that building, but everyone is entitled to certain constitutional guarantees, and when you're incarcerated, you're entitled to not be abused, receive proper health care, and food. Listen to this. This is in the Washington Examiner. A man charged in connection with the Capitol riot, who is an inmate at a Virginia jail, is at risk of dying, his attorney says. Christopher Quaglin, who is being held at Norfolk Neck Regional Jail in Warsaw pending trial, is being denied a special diet and adequate medical care for his celiac disease, an autoimmune disease that can lead to damage in the small intestines if food with gluten is eaten. His attorney says they're starving this guy out. They have moved him 6 times since he's been detained. We can't send him to a facility that's not going to be able to take care of him. People with celiac disease. Anybody know about celiac disease? I've heard people talk about it that have it, and it's very bad. Very bad. People with celiac disease require food to be prepared the same way kosher food would be prepared. Everything needs to be separated because if there is cross-contamination, you can be killed. He's lost close to 20 pounds since December 21st. My goodness. Just in a couple weeks, he's lost 20 pounds? Ted Hull, the jail superintendent, said regardless of Mr. McBride, that's the attorney's, fictitious assertions, the inmate is and has been receiving the appropriate dietitian-designed diet consistent with his specific dietary requirements in the appropriate level of medical services consistent with his diagnosis, Hall said. Well, I don't hear him saying that he's being given gluten-free food. Quaglin, he's the prisoner. He's a resident of New Jersey. He was arrested in April, charged in federal court for allegedly assaulting law enforcement officers and disrupting a congressional proceeding during the Capitol riot. He's also allegedly a self-proclaimed member of the Proud Boys. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Clay Higgins of Louisiana, goes on and on and on. I didn't hear the warden say that he's getting gluten-free food. His response was very vague, right? Wasn't it? And if he is being given gluten-free food, I don't think his attorney would be all over the media saying that he's not. And, you know, these prisoners, no one has been allowed to visit and inspect the conditions. Marjorie Taylor Greene and other members of Congress have showed up to do it. And as far as I'm concerned, a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives can go anywhere they want. Anywhere they want. That's a federal property, don't you think? And, you know, the way they're treated kind of reminds me, remember in 7 Days in May, the Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, 7 Days in May? There was a member of Congress, can't remember if it was a House or a Senate member. Remember this in 7 Days in May? He found the base, he went to the base where Burt Lancaster was plotting the coup and then they incarcerated him. That's kind of what goes on with Marjorie Taylor Greene and others. The way they're treated when they show up at the jail is not just disrespectful for members of Congress, it's very arrogant, and it shows that there's something going on there that they don't want us to see. I know. It's amazing. Here we are tomorrow, a year after January 6th. Why are there hundreds of people still awaiting trial? It's pretty simple. They're putting it off because here we are now, the holiday season is over. President Trump's first rally is not this weekend, but the weekend after, I believe, the one in Arizona. Isn't it like around the 14th or something? And what they've been doing is putting off as many of these cases as they can because they want to have hundreds of cases going on and hundreds of convictions for different things as a midterm election scheme. They want and what they want to have is you to turn on CNN or MSNBC and the graphic on the screen, MAGA on trial, MAGA convicted. That's why there's so many. I know some of them they've handled and made deals with and things like this, but only a handful. They still have hundreds that have not had their cases properly heard, and that's why. Pretty obvious, isn't it? Now, this is an amazing thing, and I don't know how many people realize this, but Newsmax TV, which I'm a huge fan of, Eric Bolling's show has really come along. I'm really enjoying Eric Bolling. He had a very good show yesterday. Newsmax TV is the number 4 rated cable news channel. Number 4. That means they have more viewers than Fox Business. That's amazing. Number 4. And yeah, and a lot of people still don't know about Newsmax, and they're not on every cable system. I love Newsmax, and they've gotten better and better. I would recommend, if anybody from Newsmax is listening, the corporate headquarters are right down the street from the radio station here in Boca. I recommended this last year. I thought it was a mistake. Their main personalities should work through the holidays. They use fill-in people during the. I know people are entitled to time off, but don't do it during the holidays because, Fox and the other ones, they have everybody off during the holiday seasons, and if you had your main people on, like Greg Kelly, Eric Bolling was on last week because I watched him last week. I don't know if he was on every day, but I watched him at least once last week with a new show. But if they kept their main people on during the holidays, they pick up a lot of viewers because these third stringers they had on Fox and elsewhere weren't that good. So it's an opportunity during holidays to pick up new viewers on Newsmax. But Newsmax has been dropped from a cable system. See, they're going after Newsmax. Listen to this. Newsmax has been dropped from Atlantic broadband homes this past New Year's Eve weekend without notice. This story is at Newsmax. This past New Year's Eve weekend, without notice, Atlantic Broadband removed Newsmax from all of its cable systems. Newsmax is the 4th highest rated cable news channel in the nation. Despite our high ratings, it's clear Atlantic does not like Newsmax TV's point of view. Yeah, I know. Atlantic Broadband currently carries 11 liberal news and information channels on their lineup. Most of those 11 channels have fewer viewers than Newsmax. And then Newsmax says here, since censoring us, Atlantic Broadband has been making false statements about Newsmax to their customers, such as Newsmax was negotiated in bad faith and we would not come to terms with them. And they go through some details on that. But Newsmax says this. Here's the bottom line. Atlantic doesn't like Newsmax or its news perspective, and they want to shut us down. Yeah, Newsmax caught everyone off guard. And Fox News has made very specific changes because of Newsmax. And, Newsmax is number 4, and they're not on every cable system. Now they're on one less. I don't know how much that impacts them, and I don't know what areas that covers. It's very difficult to catch up to Fox and MSNBC. MSNBC is on every cable system, probably. Close to it if they're not on every one, but probably on every cable system. Newsmax isn't, and they're still number 4. That's amazing. When you're not on every cable system and you're number 4, that means you've got very, very high ratings. And Chris Wallace was fired from Fox News a couple weeks ago as a direct result of the rise of Newsmax TV. Chris Wallace is what made Newsmax so popular when everybody turned over there. And it was really amazing. We talked about this at the time. Everybody did. It was amazing because I watched Newsmax years ago and it wasn't that good and the programming was eh. And I hadn't checked back at Newsmax in years. And then I did because of Chris Wallace. And I was shocked at how things had been upgraded. And since they exploded in popularity over the last year, they've brought in a lot of new people. They've got James Rosen now, is James Rosen the official Newsmax White House reporter? He's very good. He used to be at Fox. Heather Childress used to be at Fox. Eric Bolling doing a great job now. Show was a little rough in the beginning, doing a great job in the afternoons. Greg Kelly. They're all great over there. They're all great. And they're getting better all the time. And unlike One American News, they're not boring, and they have a budget. And this Atlantic, and also, by the way, Greg Kelly was beating Fox News in the ratings, and that's why they moved Martha McCallum out of that slot and put her on in the afternoon, and they've never permanently filled that slot. They have on Fox News, they have rotating people all the time. They've kind of left that open. It's almost like Fox News has given up on beating Greg Kelly on Newsmax. They can't do it. So this is what they do, right? They try to keep them off of other cable outlets. They get them knocked off of outlets they're on. But there's other ways to watch Newsmax. I usually watch them on YouTube. They have they live stream 24 hours a day on YouTube, Newsmax. That's mostly where I watch because it's the easiest for me. But I have the app, too, on all my devices, including my TV. Their app is free, and you can watch everything, and all their programs are archived up there. So there's all kinds of ways to watch Newsmax. But Newsmax is the future. President Trump, his first red wave rally in Arizona next weekend, Newsmax will carry that. And this is going to be the beginning of rally weekend. I'm expecting rallies, maybe not right away this month, but I'm expecting rallies with President Trump very quickly to be every weekend because he's backing so many different candidates. And Newsmax, not only will Newsmax carry them, at the most recent Trump rallies, they have put together a special team to travel to the rallies with Heather Childress and others, where they go there the whole day, like Right Side Broadcasting. They go there the whole day, they cover the rally, they interview people, they cover Trump's speech. Fox is not going to do that. Fox, many times, will not even let you know there's a rally going on. They won't cover it. They won't even have the box at the bottom right of the screen. On Saturday, I like Judge Jeanine a lot, but I don't want to watch Judge Jeanine when Trump's having a rally. And, that's the way it is. They carry Jesse Waters. I like Jesse Waters as much as Judge Jeanine, but I like Jesse Waters. And they carry, and don't get mad at Judge Jeanine and Jesse Waters. That's not their call. But Newsmax will carry them. I know others will too, like One American News, but Newsmax is important to support because they're what Fox was 20 years ago. And they're hungry, and they're doing the right thing, and they handle things perfectly. Their perspective on all the stories is right on the money. And them being taken off this cable system shows that the other cable systems are very, very worried at Newsmax. And if you don't think they do have the ability to be number one, if more people know about them and they can get on some more cable systems. CNN was around for many years, and wasn't this before Fox. They were on many years without really being all that popular until Gulf War I in 91, and then they became number one because they were the only ones that were over there in Iraq when it happened. And Fox News was around for 6 years, and no one watched it until the 2000 election. And then all of a sudden, after 6 years of obscurity, Fox News became the conservative television news of record. And now they've betrayed us, right? There's some good people over there, but, Newsmax could be that. And they want to be that, and they're working pretty hard to get to that spot. So it's very important to support Newsmax in every way that you can, especially because we got the red wave year going on, and then we're going to be in Trump's presidential 2024 re-election year, and only Newsmax will carry. Remember, Fox News, during the first Trump campaign, Fox News wasn't carrying all the Trump rallies. Remember, they stopped carrying them. And after January 6th last year, they wouldn't carry President Trump. I saw Neil Cavuto cut away from the President of the United States, President Trump, after January 6th because they would say that he would incite violence. So they use that as an excuse not to cover him. But Newsmax will always cover President Trump in these rallies. That's enough reason to support them. All right, we'll take our break. 37 minutes after the hour. Toll-free call 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Tom LaPorta, the owner. Hi, Tom LaPorta here.
Hit the wrong
from
commercial.
LaPorta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. LaPorta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal.
I hit the wrong spot, so I hit a dated spot, like for Christmas. So I just took a second and dumped out of it.
What I heard was, you did dump. Because I heard, but Newsmax.
Yeah, I hit the dump after I started that spot. That's okay. I got to take that spot out of the...
Call LaPorta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at LaPortaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapy. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom.
I'll recap the thing about President Trump, okay?
We offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy.
Because I think people need to know. I've seen so many stories about that.
If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to...
Good morning, everyone. Make sure that you like the video, and if you're new, subscribe, all right? Steve Kane Show. Hey, Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654.
C2CPIC.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. 41 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are way behind schedule today. I don't know what happened, but took that last break a little late. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is the number. Richie, the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yes, good morning, Brian. You talk about Newsmax. I watch that. I watch Greg Kelly. I watch a lot of it, but this Natalie Harp, who was the one that was dying that President Trump saved. With the special right to try medical.
Yeah.
Clark. And you know what I like about her? She's not. See, there's certain things that I can't say on the radio here, and it's not because I don't want to hurt.
Oh.
January 6th.
By the way, I'm not going to get into it, but that's not why some topics we have. That is not what your stated reason is. Not why there are some topics we can't talk about. I can't tell you why on the air, but you're wrong about that. No, I'm not going to tell you. It's not necessarily that either. But it's not. No. But it's not the reasons you've stated. I can't tell you on the air. I can't tell you guys everything. I'd like to, but sometimes things go on behind the scenes that we can't share on the radio.
Well, Natalie Love, like I said, is excellent, and he has to deal with this January 6th crap. And you know, when you see people put up into the Ritz-Carlton that came from Afghanistan, and you see what's happening to Americans that are in jail, and a lot of these people on the other side don't think they're Americans. They think they're revolutionary people that want to destroy the country, and they've linked us up with MAGA, and they just want to just rip at us.
Well, what they're doing, I've been talking about this for a year. The whole move is to declare MAGA a domestic terrorist organization and to keep Trump off the primary ballots in the Republican primary for 2024, and maybe, you know, even try to keep him off state ballots in general. They're trying to bring some type of, they're talking about sedition charges now. They're trying to get some Obama, there's Biden judges now, some corrupt federal judge appointed by a Democrat to bring some type of charge against Trump. And then they'll go to California, they'll go to Iowa, they'll go to these primary states, and they'll get the governor there to say, well, we cannot have Donald Trump on the ballot in this state because he has this sedition charge against him or whatever other thing they make up. And that's part of their tactic. That's what they're doing here.
Biggest threat that they always talk about, the biggest threat to democracy, and that's their new talking point, that if President Trump gets reelected, matter of fact, they're talking about if Republicans that support President Trump get elected in the primary, that could be the end of democracy.
I mean, like now, you know, there's Brian Stelter. I'm not going to play the clip because I can't stand listening to him. But Brian Stelter said yesterday, what is Sean Hannity hiding? So now, because he doesn't want to give his private text messages to Liz Cheney and that kangaroo committee, all of a sudden he's guilty of something, according to CNN. What is he hiding? Just why don't you hand over your cell phone, Brian Stelter, all your cell phones, and let's publicly go through them. What are you hiding?
Nancy Pelosi is hiding, and they know she's hiding something. She's refused to turn over her cell phone records.
Yeah.
Her computer records.
Yeah.
She was in charge of the security of the Capitol, and then.
But this is the thing I understand about these Liz Cheneys and these other lowlives. They don't think they're bad guys. They think they're saving us and the Republic.
From Trump.
Yeah, they do. They believe that. They believe that in their bones. Yes.
Well, they're the biggest threat to democracy. The Democrats.
They're sick. They're sick.
You remember what they talked about with the Trump derangement syndrome? The whole party's got it.
I mean, you know, Brian Stelter, if he was a real journalist, he would be defending Hannity. You know, he's a member of the media, Hannity, and he shouldn't be handing over his private text. I don't put anything in writing. And any of you out there in the listening audience, if you ever correspond with me, if you probably have noticed, maybe you think I'm rude, but if I respond, it's like 1 or 2 words. I put nothing in writing. Nothing. It's and that's ever, because that when something's written, it can be put in somebody else's context.
I used to think that you were a little paranoid. I'm being honest with you, and I don't believe that today at all. I think you were very cautious and you were actually a visionary to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Protect your own.
I tell people, do not put anything in. I tell this to my daughter, put nothing in writing.
No, that's not paranoia. That's fact. Look what.
Like that idiot Al the John. We had him on as a guest, and I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard. Actually, Al the John, to come to think of it, hasn't called in a few months, and in this COVID era, I hope he's okay. He's older. He's obese. But we had him on years and years ago as a guest in studio, and I texted him directions and stuff. He kept that text for years on his phone. He would show people, look, Brian Craig texted me. My God, yeah. I know. So put nothing in writing, people.
No, not for nothing. You got to know, and you're very good at what you do. I mean, you know who to give information to and who not to, and that some people take a little thing and run with it and twist everything, and you're ahead of the game.
I appreciate it. All right, Richie, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bob Reich calling.
Oh, hey, long time no hear. Bob Reich, not the former Secretary of Labor.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Well, I don't call often, but I got a call today, and it's not because I'm admiring what you're doing.
Oh, here we go.
You are taking a station like One American News, which happens to be very interesting, tells you all about what's going on in the world, and has the best investigative reporting I've seen anywhere. One American News is on our side, Brian.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation. You know, Jack Posobiec left. Jen Pellegrino left. I mean, you know, they've had a lot. You know, it's boring.
It's not boring. The investigative reporting is better than One America and better than Fox. The other point I'm making is this, Brian. It may be your opinion, but you're like a Republican who's against Trump. These people are on our side, One America, and we need all the outlets we can have.
I'm not against One American News. I just think Newsmax is more effective because they're reaching people.
There's a lot of people talking. One America shows films of what's going on. But the big point is you're also giving misinformation. One America covers every one of the rallies, everything that you're praising, and you're not giving.
Well, the thing with One American News, okay, I used to watch them religiously, especially during the first campaign, because they were the only ones. They carry every Trump rally, and they were the only ones to do it when Fox wouldn't. And I watched them a lot. But the problem, there's a few problems with One American News. They've been around since, I started watching them in 2015. So in the last 7 years, they've not grown at all. They do have some good people. That one bald guy that does the investigative reports, he's very, very good. He's got great information. Yeah. Yeah, but he should go over to Newsmax where people will see his reporting.
Are you saying because they're small, they don't deserve to get any?
No, this is what I mean. We lost Fox News a couple years back, right? We lost Fox News. Newsmax TV has the ability to become the #1 name in cable news, and One American News has been completely shut out by the cable companies. They threw them out, and they recently removed them. They removed them from the White House press briefing room, which was ridiculous. Their White House reporter, the one that dresses like a flight attendant, she's very good. The one they wouldn't give a chair to her. Remember, now they kicked her out. So I'm not against One American News. I just
they're being picked on. Instead of us supporting any outlet that gives us our point of view, you're picking on them. They have a right to have whatever audience they have without being besmirched. I don't see. It's like the Republicans turning on Trump or something. They're on our side.
Well, there's something, okay, like two people they had that are very big names, right? Jen Pellegrino, she left and does the 9 o'clock show on Newsmax, okay? She was very good. She was good though, and then and Jack Posobiec left, and he works with Charlie Kirk, and is on the War Room with Bannon now, and he left. I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad, but they're just they've been completely shut out. It's really a hopeless situation.
You don't have to bet.
Okay, what I would like to, and I've talked about this before, my recommendation for One American News would be to partner with Newsmax. Remember, you used to have CNN and then the headline news? Like CNN was kind of like it is, and then headline news was straight. If they partnered with Newsmax and be like the CNN headline news of Newsmax, they'd be a great combo together. I would like to see them grow.
You said that. It'd be good if you said that, but what I heard today is just
Steve Kane Show.
Them. So say Newsmax is good.
All right. All right, Bob. Hey, listen, Bob. I don't. We're not disagreeing as much as it sounds. All right, take care. And by the way, you okay? You get your voice. Do you have a cold? It's not COVID, is it?
We've tested. No, it's not COVID. Because everybody freaks now whenever you get anything.
You can't even sneeze. I know this. The radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Steve from Boca.
Hey, Steve.
How are you, Brian?
I'm all right.
Good. Hi.
Oh, I hung up on Steve from Boca by mistake. I was answering another line. Steve in Boca, I disconnected you by mistake. My apologies. I was answering another line. So call back, Steve from Boca, all right? Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Yep. Yeah, Alan Coral Springs. So, hey, Steve in Boca, I'm sorry. I disconnected you by mistake. Call back. Go ahead.
Hey, there's an interesting clip from
Steve
a Trump
Kane
rally going around. I was wondering if you've seen it.
Steve Kane
Trump
Show.
is saying at his rally,
Hold on.
he's complaining
Steve
about
Kane
people
Show.
who complain who plead the fifth.
Hey, Nita.
He goes, anybody who pleads the fifth are hiding things. Only the mob pleads the fifth.
Uh-huh.
What do you think Trump is feeling about all the people pleading the fifth?
Tell me what the fifth is.
Answer my question.
No. I want to see if you know what you're talking about. What is the fifth? No, I do want to answer your question, but I want to know if you understand what you're asking. Oh, he hung up, people. He doesn't know. Everybody knows the Fifth Amendment. We don't know. Regular people don't know all the amendments, but that's one that we all certainly know. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Oh, hey, Anita. I'm sorry. I'm having some phone problems here today. Every line just went dark on me and is flashing. It just stopped flashing. So I apologize. Everyone on hold. Anita is in today for Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace in Pompano. What do you have for us today, Anita?
I just want to let everybody know that we carry a number of amazing brands, all high quality, at AJ. Some of everybody's favorites like Life Extension, Solgar, a great company that's been around for over 70 years with amazingly high quality ingredients in all of their products. Jarrow Formulas, Now Foods, Himalaya Herbs. So if there's something that you've been taking, a brand that you love, chances are we do have it for you at AJ's. And if we don't, we could always look into it and see if we can get it for you.
Yeah, and Anita and Janet are great partners because, everyone knows Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutritionist, one, if not the most well-known name in the vitamin nutraceutical business in all of South Florida. And Anita, you come from the supply side of things. You've worked as a representative for many of these companies that manufacture all these great supplements you're talking about, which means you have great contacts to not just get everything, but get great prices, negotiate great prices for your customers.
I've been trained and educated by all of these companies. So if Janet doesn't happen to be there, I can still help you out.
That's right. And, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace, if you can't make it in or you're out of town or maybe you're in another part of town and you don't drive and you can't make it to the festival, give them a call. They'll ship to you. And they just shipped a nice care package to Steve last weekend. The number is 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace, easy to find. The festival is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And when you go in the main entrance, head back towards the food court and look west of the food court. You see the information booth? That's where AJ's is. And don't forget, Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. on all of our radio stations, catch Janet Cimarelli's Health and Wellness Radio Show. All right. Hey, listen, Anita, thanks, and we'll check in tomorrow. All right, take care. Yeah, so now, see, this is an interesting thing, AJ, because, Alan Coral Springs. Alan Coral Springs, this is an interesting thing, and he hung up because he was embarrassed. He didn't know he's criticizing people for taking the Fifth. He doesn't know what it is. But what was very interesting, did you hear who he cited as a source of credibility about taking the Fifth? President Trump. He said there's a clip of President Trump saying this. So now all of a sudden to Al in Coral Springs, the great, wonderful, perfect president, Donald Trump, who handed Joe Biden a perfect country that he wrecked, is a voice and source of credibility, according to Democrats. That's amazing. What an amazing admission by Al from Coral Springs. All right, our number, I'm sorry we had some phone problems, guys. The phones are, I don't know what happened there, but they're okay now. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE1. Did the lights flicker? Because something happened with the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE1. That's 888-465-2631. Now, I talked about this at 6. I want to mention it as we go into the top of the hour. This is very important, and because I see this story everywhere, and no one has hit on it. President Trump was planning a press conference at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow, January 6th, and he has canceled it. And I see story after story. Donald Trump mysteriously cancels the press conference. Donald Trump, why did he do it? Why did he do it? This is why he did it. We just had the anniversary of President Trump taking out that evil Iranian general. It is a security risk. It is not because, there's no mystery about it. And I was talking about this. The day after that happened last year, I drove up to the airport in Palm Beach because the president was in town at Mar-a-Lago, wintering here in Palm Beach at the Florida White House, and I was doing a live stream on YouTube, and I got up early in the morning because I wanted to take everyone up to see Air Force One, and it wasn't there, unannounced. It wasn't there. Very strange, and because Air Force One, they parked it at a certain spot, which was really cool. You get a good look at it. Every time President Trump was in town, I'd go up there to check it out. And it was gone. And I'm like, this is strange. And I drove, there's a perimeter road around the airport. I drove around the whole airport. I said, well, maybe they parked it somewhere else for some reason. It was not there. And they flew President Trump out of Mar-a-Lago because the security threat from Iran over this. And here we are, everyone in the news is talking about, here we are, the year anniversary of this. And I believe the reason he is not having the press conference tomorrow is because the security threat posed by this Iranian general, the anniversary of his death. Okay? And there's no mystery about it. And you know, I can't be the only one who knows that. But these people in the media hate Donald Trump, and they're always going to lie, they're always going to slander him, and everything's always going to be bad news, and they're desperate to have a failure. Remember, like Greg 2 called up yesterday, and this thing, and I said, you know, you only feel good when others are feeling bad, you know. That's how the media are when it comes to Trump. They're always looking to bring him down to make themselves feel good. Pretty pathetic way to live your life. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. That's right. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach. When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG.
What's up? It's fine now. All the lines flickered, and then it stopped. They're working now.
Strategicmanufacturers.com. Steve Kane just had
But it seemed to be working now, because I took Anita's call.
On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, his trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard. The grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, pruned them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 Royal Poinciana trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. Also, one of the Royal Poincianas in the front yard was actually choking out one of the oak trees. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the tree so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single-family home all the way up to large HOAs, commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
Give Nathan at GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's Steve Kane.
All righty, welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning, the third hour of today's program has begun. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, and hopefully Steve will be back this week. I talked to Steve yesterday. He is better, but sounded a bit, maybe even a little worse than Bob Reich. He's been pretty sick. His whole family's sick, but he was the last one to get sick, and everybody else in the house who was sick is now well. So he's the last one on the list. So hopefully he'll be better today. I'll check in with him, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully, if not tomorrow, Friday. But he'll be back soon. He was itching. He wanted to come on today, and he was so sick last night. I said, take another day off to rest. Sometimes you got to. That's when you got a cold or a flu. Rest. That always does it for me. When I have a cold or a flu, what I like to do, can't always do it. Now, Ted Cruz, this is an interesting thing going on here. It's, there's something we got to be very careful of. About 20% of Democrats in the House are not running for re-election. We were talking about this yesterday. And the word is Nancy Pelosi won't be seeking the speakership because she promised the Democrats that she would not do that. Well, I don't know about that. But the Democrats, the left, are talking about losing the midterm elections. You don't want to get overconfident, especially during an off-year election. Off-year elections are so important because voter turnout is always lower during off-year elections. And you don't want to assume that the red wave is here and not turn out and vote in mass. It's very, very important. Okay? And I think conservatives, MAGA, getting a little too comfortable with this presumption that we're going to win. And what happens with that is people get overconfident and they get off work and like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to go wait in line to vote. And we're going to win anyway. I'm not going to. Don't do that. Every MAGA person, you need to, I don't care how tired you are, you need to vote. It's very important. And I'm just noticing just people being too comfortable, which is bad news. Now, you don't want to be too comfortable. This is so important because we need this red wave to be successful for President Trump to come in and get the nomination. Now, President Trump may not win every race of a person he endorses, but I think he's going to have a pretty good record. But if he wins if every endorsed candidate of President Trump's wins except one, the media are going to focus in on that one and say, oh, voters reject Trump, this one person, lost. So it's very important to win every seat that we can. We need it. We need it not just to take back the Congress, we need it to get Trump the nomination in 2024. Now, I saw Ted Cruz yesterday online talking about the impeachment of Joe Biden. And I also saw Steve Scalise yesterday. I'll play the Ted Cruz thing in a minute, but I want to talk about Steve Scalise too. I saw Steve Scalise on Newsmax yesterday. Steve Scalise was on with Eric Bolling. And Eric Bolling asked him, when the Republicans win, who is going to be the speaker? Will it be President Trump? Mr. Speaker Trump? And Steve Scalise, I love Steve Scalise, I know you guys do, he says, no, it'll be Kevin McCarthy. He said it'll be Kevin McCarthy, he said. Now, I don't expect them to pick Trump as Speaker of the House. It would be pretty cool, though. And I know they say you don't have to be a member of the House to be made a Speaker. Has that ever happened? I don't know if it's ever happened. But even if it's the right thing to do and it's legal and everything, they'd put up a fight for that. But Kevin McCarthy, I'm so worried about Kevin McCarthy. I don't trust Kevin McCarthy. It took Kevin McCarthy, who made a deal with Nancy Pelosi to remove the great Marjorie Taylor Greene off of some of her committees. And I was like, this guy's a jerk. And it took Kevin McCarthy like 3 or 4 days to comment about Marjorie Taylor Greene being banned from Twitter. And then when he did it, it was mild. It was like very mild. And I was very disappointed when Steve Scalise said with complete confidence that Kevin McCarthy would be the Speaker, because I don't like Kevin McCarthy. I do not trust Kevin McCarthy. He'll be another Paul Ryan. So then I saw, let me play this. This is Ted Cruz yesterday. He was with Michael Knowles, and Ted Cruz was talking about the impeachment of Joe Biden after the red wave and the Republicans take back both houses of Congress.
There's any chance that a Republican House would impeach President Biden?
Steve Kane Show.
I do think there's a chance of that, and whether it's justified.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
We talked about when the Democrats weaponized impeachment. They used it for partisan purposes to go after Trump because they disagreed with him. And one of the real disadvantages of doing that, and this is something you and I talked about at great length, is the more you weaponize it and turn it into a partisan cudgel, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I said at the time, when we have a Democratic president and a Republican House, you can expect an impeachment proceeding. That's not how impeachment is meant to work, but I think the Democrats cross that line. I think there'll be enormous pressure on a Republican House to begin impeachment proceedings. I think there are potentially multiple grounds to consider for impeachment. Probably the most compelling is the utter lawlessness of President Biden's refusal to enforce the border, his decision to just defy federal immigration laws and allow 2 million people to come here unimpeded in direct contravention of his obligation under Article 2 of the Constitution to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. That's probably the strongest grounds right now for impeachment. But
So I'll ask you this. So, I don't care what grounds. They impeached President Trump for nothing. They even impeached the guy after he was out of office. I think we should impeach Biden too, for anything. I think maybe Article F and Article U, I don't know. But he should be impeached to make a point about what they did to President Trump. Does anyone believe Kevin McCarthy would impeach Joe Biden, even, by the way, for the leaving hundreds, if not thousands, of American hostages behind in Afghanistan and all these other things? Do you really think Kevin McCarthy would allow Joe Biden to be impeached? I do not. What do you guys think? 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, good morning. You're on the air.
Brian, it's Steve from Boca.
Oh, hey, Steve. Sorry. And all the other callers, too. I don't know what happened. All the phone lines flashed, and then boom. But anyway, you're back. What's on your mind?
All right, two things. One, number one, I want to call about the One American News, but on Biden called a couple of calls back. I'm a big One American News fan. Newsmax, in my opinion, is Fox Light, and I'll tell you why. There used to be a commercial on Newsmax where they ran Ronald Reagan saying, tear down this wall, and Martin Luther King, and it was a wonderful commercial. At the end of the commercial, they had Donald Trump saying, make America great again. What Newsmax did. They took off the Donald Trump, make America great again.
Hold on.
And ever since then...
Wait, you mean they still have the commercial with Reagan and Martin Luther King, but then they took out President Trump?
That's correct. Walk right down the middle. Their fight. American News is sensational. I love them. It's a rock star. But One American News is great.
Off about it, I must say. They fired Emerald Robinson. And she was the White House correspondent. She was very, very good. Now, they brought in James Rosen, who's also very good. He used to be on Fox. But they should have given her a show. I know she was tweeting some things they didn't like, about vaccines and stuff. But people make mistakes. I don't think they should have fired Emerald Robinson. That really troubled me.
I got to tell you, you're very influential. Your show is wonderful. And it's important to me to just tell you, please give One America a benefit of the doubt and give them a break. We need
I will.
to watch
Hey, listen, I can, two guys. I respect both you and Bob Reich. I know Bob Reich. He's a friend of mine. So, I take that. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. Yeah. All right. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
How are you doing?
Hey, Wisconsin Gary. What's up?
As of 6 hours ago, it's now up to 25. Brenda Lawrence is now the 25th person that will not be rerun Congress. So it's up to 25 people now.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I mean, I'm just kind of wondering who all these people that are going to probably want to put their foot in the door.
But if they were pissed at her, they could have given her a pass.
Election in 2022
she did not make a mistake. I agree with that.
That are going to try running for Congress that are on the Democratic side.
Well, the reason they're not running is because they know it's hopeless. They'll lose, and they want to leave as a. They don't want to leave as a loser. It's humiliating. They don't want to leave as a loser because it's easier for them to secure their future retiring out on their own.
But those that are going to try to fill their shoes, I mean, they've got a big task against them as well, because you think about it, if Trump has got all the time, which he does now, to go around all 50 states if he so chooses, to get a lot more people Republican in office, because we could be looking at almost 40-plus people that could be Republicans going into the House and give us a well over majority. So, I mean, it's like, I'm going to really kind of keep an eye on a lot of that.
No, that's a big deal. People do not walk away from those jobs, and they don't unless they're forced out, because it's very prestigious, and there's so much corruption. There's so many ways to make a living doing it. And Bobby Rush has been up there forever, corrupt as the day is long, like all these other top Democrats, and he's retiring. Yeah, they're seeing the writing on the wall, but still, we got to be careful not to get overconfident because it depresses our turnout.
That was in Wisconsin here, and I can't remember his name. He only served 2 terms because that's all he wanted to serve. And I mean, now why are people like him doing the same thing, just staying in there long enough to hopefully get your job done? But I think the reason why he left was because it was too political there. So, I mean, those that make a career...
Well, part of what, like what's going on in New York with the Trump family, this harassment, part of what they're doing, okay, many things are going on with their slanders and lies and harassment of the Trump family and organization. But one thing they're doing is trying to scare people that aren't lifelong politicians from getting into office. That if you don't play ball, we're going to do to you what we've done to Trump and the Trump family. You're right? We're going to harass you for the rest of your lives. You know, they're scared. You know, a lot of good people don't run for office because they see what's going on with President Trump, and they don't want to be harassed like that. It's a scare I think it's an effective tactic of the left, sadly.
Right, but the one thing that I would like to see, you know, because I know about you brought up McCarthy. I mean, he is a snake, regardless of how you look at it. But I guess if Trump doesn't end up being Speaker as they're talking about, I would love to see Marjorie Taylor Greene become the Speaker of the House, because I think she's getting more and more involved and starting to know everything about the rules and everything, and she would make a great Speaker of the House, in my opinion.
Oh, she would be wonderful, but they're not going to let that happen. She's too new. She's a freshman. They're not going to let that happen. That's as realistic as AOC becoming the Democrat Speaker. It's just not going to. I think she'd be wonderful. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she would take no crap. It would be awesome. Hey, Gary, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right, take care. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be back after this.
Tom LaPorta here from LaPorta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. LaPorta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. LaPorta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call LaPorta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at LaPortaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for Double.
All righty, welcome back. 23 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. I did misspeak about something. I didn't misspeak, but I didn't make myself clear in the last segment, and I want to clarify and explain what I said. I was talking about Emerald Robinson, and it was very troubling to me that Newsmax fired Emerald Robinson. I like Emerald Robinson a lot. She's very, very good. She was on One American News for quite some time, and then she went over to Newsmax. And I said she made a mistake. She did not make a mistake. I do not believe that Emerald Robinson made a mistake. But what I meant by that was this. Whenever you work for someone, I work for someone, and Emerald Robinson works for someone, whoever you work for, when you're on the air, whether it's television, whatever, they have rules and things you can't do, things you can't talk about, okay? If she violated one of their rules, which seemed to be a minor thing, she did nothing wrong, they could have given her a pass. If they think she, violated their terms over there, they should have given her a pass and, let her do her thing. I've seen people do and say things. My goodness, I've seen people on mainstream media use profanity or even sexual terms by mistake. You can go on YouTube and watch the news flubs that people have made, sometimes even on national news, and they don't get rid of them. So no, I'm disappointed in Newsmax for letting Emerald Robinson go. I really am. That was a blow, and I think it was a loss because the thing about this is there are many problems with the Washington media, okay, and one of the problems that you see with conservatives in media sometimes is they become too friendly with people. Steve and I, over the years, have had people that are in politics befriend us, and we've become friends with some people. Sometimes people try to reach out for us, and I think that's bad news for somebody in this type of business, because when you become too friendly with people, you don't want to upset your friends, and you may not say, and then they start putting the screws to you. And what people do, I remember this was a long time ago. This is when Obama was newly president. We had someone who offered to pay huge amounts of money supporting this program as a sponsorship if we would do something for them. You know what that was? Not criticize Obama. Not criticize Obama. And not only that, not call him Obama. I couldn't believe. Somebody had approached us about advertising on the show. And they seemed all right, and it was an all right business, good business and everything. And we had an initial meeting. It went like any other meeting would go. And then we had a follow-up meeting where we had to talk about the particulars of messaging. And they let it known then. Not only did they say that, and it was a lot of money. Not only did they say they didn't want us to criticize Obama, but when we said Obama, that was disrespectful, and we should always say President Obama. Oh, yes. There was one other thing, too, that I remember just now. Just popped in my head. There was a third thing. Don't criticize Obama. Always say President Obama. And, this was the kicker, never say Obamacare. Always say Affordable Care Act. I remember those three things. And I never experienced something like that. And Steve said, no way, and we got out of there. And it was a lot of money. Not for me, for Steve. And I'd never seen, I told Steve, I said, I've never seen you walk away from money like that. But, and that's the kind of pressures that, and enticements, they offer you these apples, you know what I mean? That these big time people are up against. And you got to be very careful, because what happens sometimes, somebody like that, they make their way in. And this isn't just us. This is anybody that's in media. Somebody makes their way in, and boom, all of a sudden they're making demands like that. You got to be careful. And there's a lot of people in media that, this unfortunately happens to. Now, another thing is, that, again, not wanting to upset their friends or lose their connections, right? Because if you look around the Washington media, they go from one outlet to the next. They all know each other. They're all friends. They're all friends with everything. And it's very incestuous, the media. So, I think it's important for the media to be separate and apart from these Washington people. They should not be friends with them. One of the reasons that Cuomo got away with as much garbage as he got away with in New York is because the mainstream corporate media are all based out of New York, so they know him, right? And they're connected to him in some way, and they don't want to, they don't mind. They're not connected to DeSantis, they don't care, or even Newsom, right? But they're connected, so they don't want to criticize him, and it allowed him to get away with a lot of stuff. So I don't think people in the media should be friends with politicians and others. It's always a bad combination. But Emerald Robinson's a big lot. James Rosen's the new White House correspondent over there. He's good, but Emerald Robinson wasn't concerned about connections and friends and people wanting to like her after she asked them a question. She was always right there, boom, and she's not now. And it's unfortunate. Now, here we are a little more than a month away from Valentine's Day, and no better gift than MyPillow products for Valentine's Day. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and, again, any special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. I've put together my own, what I'm calling the Brian Craig MyPillow Valentine's Day Bundle, and it involves 3 things that you can purchase in his and hers, and no matter who your Valentine is, no matter how young, no matter how old, these are just great his and hers Valentine's gifts that will be remembered and cherished for years and years to come. And of course, the first on the list is the MyPillow bathrobe, which comes in many colors for both men and women. They have a lot of new colors. You got to take a look. And they also have a new style of robe. They have the heavy robe, which my wife and I have. We got it last year. And now they have a lighter robe as well. 30% off with the promo code KANE. And with your bathrobe, you want to have a great pair of MyPillow My Slippers. Those are 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. They also come in many different styles and colors, and for men and women. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with the promo code KANE. And the third and final part of the Brian Craig Valentine's Day MyPillow bundle is the men's and women's sleepwear. Mike Lindell has an incredible collection of sleepwear for both men and women, and it's 30% off with the promo code KANE at checkout. There are many other great items there, and any special you see, you can take advantage of with our promo code KANE at checkout. There are other great items for Valentine's Day as well, but that's what I think would be the perfect bundle. You do his and hers, boom. You'll be a big hit on Valentine's Day with your Valentine. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 ball tires in the back of my Infinity. So I called them up and I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, welcome back. 36 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. I was just reading an article during the break about U.S. manufacturing at an all-time low. And I was reading because I wanted to see if they talked about, the analysis, I don't know if the media are just incompetent or if they're covering, they don't understand what's going on. People are saying, well, manufacturing's at an all-time low, inflation is high. What is Biden doing? Biden's doing his job, helping China. When, gas prices are high, who benefits from that? The Democrats' friends in the Middle East, that's who. When the supply chain crisis drives up the price of things, who benefits from that? The manufacturers in China. That's right. And there's a lot of corruption going on at the ports over storage. Supply at an all-time low, manufacturing at an all-time low. Who benefits from that? The manufacturers in China. Biden works for China. And these things that other presidents would get involved in fix, he doesn't see it as a problem. And, the biggest takeaway that I took from Miranda Devine's book, Laptop from Hell, which is amazing, you all should get it. I got the audiobook. It just blow your mind. Is Biden's more corrupt than I've ever imagined, but he ran for president because they were broke. They like the Clintons doing those online classes now. They pissed through all the money. And Beau Biden was supposed to become the senator from Delaware and continue the family business. And with his passing, he had to come back, Biden, and make money for the family. So everything that is bad for us is great for his employers in China. And all the analysis of Biden misses that each and every time. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Hey, Greg.
How are you doing today?
Good. Why the strange voice?
No, because you know what? I want to keep the conversation upbeat and positive because you bring it.
That's fake positive. How you doing today? That was so fake. But anyway, what's on your mind?
Oh, you know what? See, you bring it down to negativity.
Well, because you're being fake. But anyway, what do you want to talk about?
I mean, listen. Let me ask you this question. There's so many. You've had so many people running for president. You have Kamala going to the Supreme Court. You have now you have Cuomo think he's going to run for president. Your predictions are so offbeat. They're never really accurate. You don't. Rachel Maddow becoming the press. Tell me a prediction that you came through with.
That hasn't been resolved yet. That has not been resolved yet. Chuck Todd is, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, that Rachel Maddow is being positioned to replace him on Meet the Press.
Who else thinks that?
I've heard other people that are in the line of work I'm in give that same analysis. I had it first, of course. I can't remember names off the top of my head. Listen, I don't have to prove my credibility to you. I'll never be right in your mind.
And let me ask you a question. You say that Biden's had donors he has to satisfy, right? Are these donors corporations?
Sometimes they're individuals, sometimes they're corporations, sometimes they're a big-name person like Bezos who has a big company. But so far as the Rachel Maddow thing, where that comes from, where I get that from is just some analysis on a couple things I've seen go on. Rachel Maddow renegotiated a very bizarre contract where she's only going to work weekends and be paid millions of dollars more a year than she's paid doing the 5-day-a-week show. And there was some reporting, insider reporting, not that long ago, that Chuck Todd was not going to have his contract renewed. That they were looking to sideline him, and I've heard others say that Rachel Maddow wants Meet the Press, and there's very well a move for that. I mean, maybe it won't happen, but it doesn't mean I was wrong. You know, Nancy was going to move to Jupiter until she found out about how MAGA it is, and then she changed her mind. It doesn't mean we were wrong about that. Sometimes things change. I'm not a psychic.
President, just like a week and a half.
And she still may. Well, he may too. They have a primary process.
And Hillary are going to go head to head for the. No.
They may, and they may work out a deal. I'm not giving you a prediction. I'm not Mickey Dane. I'm not Karnak. I'm not giving you a prediction. I'm looking at what's going on in the news on any particular moment in time and giving you some, and excuse me, and giving some analysis about what is happening at that particular time. But this goes back to what I was talking to you about yesterday. Your calls rarely have any content in them that does not involve personally attacking a person, like either me or a caller. You don't really talk about the issues. You never talk about the issues in the news. And one thing, and I've had several listeners contact me about this, by the way, and no one is infatuated with you. That most of them don't like you and say I shouldn't take your calls. But no, what I've had multiple listeners comment to me about in our chat room is they said, you know, Greg too's a lawyer. Why does he never give legal opinion on any of these legal things everyone's talking about? You don't even talk about those. Any of the cases, like, well, most recently was the lady cop that was sadly convicted in the taser mishap. Now, I don't want your legal analysis now, but even when there's a high... All right, goodbye, Greg. Even when there's a high... That's not in the news right now. When there's a high-profile legal case in the news that we're discussing, it's still all personal with you. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, George, Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, George.
I agree with you. My first thought when the Cuomo news came out is that he's running for president. And I think he's their best I can't stand him. I think he's a criminal, whatever. But he's their best candidate because he speaks the best of all of them put together. So I agree with you.
Well, listen, I remember when he started his daily COVID press conferences. I was not happy about it because I saw what he was doing. He was trying to establish himself as the candidate, right? Those were like presidential press conferences he was doing, and he went on too long and screwed himself. But they have cleared him of all those nursing home deaths, which are just thousands and thousands of people, mostly Democrats, that are dead because of him, and the groping thing cleared of. So they've cleared the way, completely exonerated, basically given him a pardon. Which, like, he never did anything wrong, and it is to clear the way for him to run for president. I'm not saying he's going to be, and he may not get the nomination, and there are others who want it, like Hillary Clinton, but there's definitely a move for him, and Democrats love that guy. I don't know why, but they love him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is. Hey, take care. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Carol Wilson.
Hey, Carol.
Love you. And this is my third time calling, and I wanted to tell you that I'm ordering a book that is so unreal. I can't wait to read it. But it was sold out when I tried to get it in December, and it's by Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
Big Pharma, and I heard it's supposed to be fabulous.
I've heard, okay, now this is a strange thing, okay? I got nothing against Bobby Kennedy Jr. Nothing against Bobby Kennedy Jr., okay? But this is a very, I mean, obviously you know who he is, right? His dad was Bobby Kennedy. This is such a strange thing, and these are things you got to be careful for, okay? And I support, I have no beef with Bobby Kennedy, and I'd like to meet him. But he's a lifelong liberal Democrat. He was on Air America Radio, very liberal. He's not MAGA, and he's not conservative, and he's not a Republican. He is a Democrat. He is a liberal Democrat. This is... Well, yeah, but this is what you got to be careful about, okay? This is what you got to be careful about. Everything he's saying about Fauci and Gates may be true. I don't know. Maybe it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. But you've got to be... This is like this thing I was talking about earlier with Joe Rogan. We got to be very careful that because someone who has a long history of being a liberal, like Joe Rogan recently said Michelle Obama could beat Donald Trump, and Bobby Kennedy Jr., just because on one issue you agree with them on or on one topic, don't put them up on top of some pedal of credibility. Consider the source. I mean, you may agree with it, and the book may be a spectacular book. Joe Rogan may have done something interesting the other day, but you can't take these Democrats and act like they're MAGA all of a sudden.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? So you got that but people do that. Schnit. All right, hey, listen. Yes. I know, guys. I don't have to dump that. You can say that. Yeah, I got to run for a break though, because it's getting towards the end. It's time for the Gold Report. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be back with the Gold Report after this.
Pandemic hit America. Our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers.
No, that's very true. People get like
associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly...
Yeah, Dr. Oz is another one. That's correct. Dr. Oz, yeah.
Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
VW, $5 super chat. Thank you. Wishing Steve Kane good health. Yeah, me too. He's getting better. All righty. Yes. Steve is... I talked to Steve last night. He sounds better, but he still can't talk well enough to be on the air. Doesn't have COVID. He did get tested. All right. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the morning gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Good. What are the metals looking like today?
Metals looking good. We are rallying after yesterday's $13 rally. Gold is up another $13 today, putting us right back where we closed it out the year in that 1828 range. So gold yesterday was up $13, closing at $1,814.40.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, guys. Make sure you like the video, guys.
Closing out today at $23.03 the ounce. Platinum gained $16 at $970, and palladium was up $56 at $1,817 the ounce. Right now, as I said, gold up another $13.60 at $1,828 the ounce. Silver up 17 cents at $23.20. Platinum up $20 at $990 the ounce. And palladium up $33 at $1,850. A bunch of this on the weakness of the U.S. dollar finally giving back some of its gains. We've seen the U.S. dollar index at 96.07, which is down about 23 ticks right now. Oil up as high right now at $77.60 a barrel. And the signs of inflation are still forging ahead, which is going to give a tailwind for the precious metals, I think, going into 2000.
Yeah, it looks like a good year for all the metals in gold. I mean, 1,800, I mean, we've been above 1,800 for a while now. And that is very, very good news. Now listen, William Youngerman is located right here in Boca Raton. How long have you been in business, William Youngerman?
1967, so...
Yeah.
Years or so.
Yeah, well, since before Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. That's a long time. Located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. The website address is williamyoungerman.com, and you can give them a call toll-free after 10 o'clock, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. Oh, man, great times coming along. Yeah, so, I was talking about, the thing with Bobby Kennedy and Rogan. Another one, somebody mentioned this to me during the break. Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. The reason you got to be careful, the reason you got to be careful with Dr. Oz, he's a Republican, but he's like a lib, and says some things that are very troubling. He gave support the other day for that transgendered swimmer that's beating all the ladies' records. I mean, this is not a Republican. So, I'm not opposed to reading Bobby Kennedy's book. I'm not opposed to reading any books, okay? Read everything. I go to liberal sources, too, because I try to read as much as I can. I watch CNN. You got to know, I expose yourself to everything. But you have to have context and understand the source. And a lot of times there are people that have different things going on. And I was talking about this at the top of the show about Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan, okay? I remember him on Fear Factor, and that was when Fear Factor was new. That was like an amazing show. I thought it was really cool. But this is what I was talking about at the top of the show. This is very important. Someone sent me a graph of the ratings of all the top people like Hannity, Tucker, Rogan, and everything. Joe Rogan, now remember, Tucker Carlson has the highest rated show, not just on cable news today, the highest rated show in the history of cable news, surpassing that of Larry King, who had no competition. So understand that. Joe Rogan has more than twice the number of viewers and listeners each week that Tucker Carlson has, who's number one in cable news. Okay? This guy said last week Michelle Obama could beat Trump. He is not a conservative. And if you remember, when Joe Rogan first made his Spotify deal, The Spotify liberal snowflake employees were protesting. They were censoring shows of his. And now they're quiet. And Joe Rogan is taking these huge these risks and talking about these things, and they're not cracking down on him over at Spotify. That's fine. I'm in favor of free speech. I like Joe Rogan, but he is not a conservative. He is not MAGA. He's not the new Rush Limbaugh. And there is a huge vacuum that's been left by, again, I like Joe Rogan, but he is not the voice of conservatives or the voice of MAGA. But there's this vacuum where Rush Limbaugh was. And there's a lot of people trying to take it over. And I believe the left, based on what I'm seeing recently, especially with these new ratings numbers, I believe the left and the establishment are trying to make Joe Rogan the new Rush, like the conservative. They want conservatives to go to him. You don't want to do that. He is not MAGA. He is not a conservative. That doesn't mean that I don't like him, and he may have a guest and do an interview that's amazing, that I think is spectacular, that everyone should watch. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I don't watch him, but he is not our political voice. You don't want him to become like the conservative show of record, because it's only a matter of time before he starts trashing Trump, and that'll be when Trump is running. Does that, I mean, you know, and there's a lot of these Trojan horses around. Dr. Oz is another one, okay? I like Dr. Oz. I watched his show a few times. He seems likable, but we don't want him to be a Republican in Congress. He'd be worse than Romney, okay? And this thing with Bobby Kennedy. No problem with Bobby Kennedy, you know, but he's a lifelong liberal Democrat. He's not MAGA. You've got to be very, very careful. The Trump rallies start next weekend in Arizona. That's where it's at. That is our leader, okay? Jacqueline, $50 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Jacqueline. Not Rogan, not Oz, none of these guys. It's Trump, all right? Oh, man. I know. It's the way it is. It is the way it is. Now, I want to tell you guys about Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They don't just do COVID testing, by the way. Whatever lab work you need, they do it. I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca because I live closest to it. Steve, he typically goes to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca for all of my doctor's ordered lab work. They send me a copy. They send it to the doctor as well. And I go there for my COVID testing too, because sometimes you got to get COVID tested. Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Coral Springs, they have every COVID test you need, no matter what you need it for. They even have same-day PCR, but if you're traveling and you need a test, if you need a test for work, if you need a test for school, if you need a test just for peace of mind to make sure you don't have COVID, every time someone has a runny nose, they think COVID, they want to know, go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca, go to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Great prices, and you don't have to wait around for hours, and you can get the results the same day, even on PCR tests, okay? They even have the rapid test, antigen test, but that same-day PCR is a time saver and a life saver and a stress saver. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around. These are the only two advertising on the Steve Kane Show, so don't use the rest, just use these two. Any Lab Test Now of Boca, both locations open Monday through Saturday. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto, north of Hillsborough, on the east side of 441 State Road 7. No appointment necessary for any of their lab tests. Just walk in, including COVID. Their number, 561-237-5009. Open Monday through Saturday. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. They're also open Monday through Saturday. Now, if you miss the numbers for Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Coral Springs or any of the sponsors of the Steve Kane Show, go to stevekaneshow.com. There's a link right where you see Steve holding the glass of champagne from our last cruise. It takes you to our sponsor page that has all of the information and contact information of all of the sponsors of the Steve Kane Show. All right, well, listen, guys, I hope Steve will be back with us tomorrow. He wanted to come on today. He called me last night. He's doing better. He's still sick. His voice isn't there yet, and I said, take another day off. I mean, you know, rest. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow or Friday. He is getting better. It is not COVID. He was tested. I got to constantly tell that. That's why we have any lab tests now with Boca and Coral Springs. But, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Those of you who called, thanks for your participation. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Take care, everyone.
Diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead.
Hey guys, well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And Jacqueline, everyone, thank Jacqueline for that $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. That is greatly appreciated. And before you guys go, please like the video. If you're new, subscribe. Well, thank you. Same time, same channel, yeah. Kathy and I will probably have a podcast today. Oh, man. Gee whiz. What a day. Yeah, a lot of good subjects going on today. Let's see. What's going on here? I just got to turn our voicemail on. I like it. Did you hear Greg, too? He thinks you were all fascinated with him. Let me go through the chat a little bit. I'm like an hour behind here on the chat. Yeah, Rogan supported Bernie Sanders. It doesn't mean Joe Rogan's a bad guy. It doesn't mean Bobby Kennedy is a bad guy. But I really do think there is a scheme going on to convince MAGA that Joe Rogan is like our voice, and he's not. That doesn't mean that he doesn't do something that's good and interesting and right and relevant, but he's not the MAGA voice. I mean, that's just, well, thank you, Gregory. I appreciate that. You don't lie. Well, that's a good thing. Why, did somebody accuse you of lying, Patricia? Oh, Biden's problems? Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. You think Rogan is moving to the right? No, he is not moving to the right. He's not moving to the right. That makes no sense. No. He said last week that Michelle Obama could beat Trump. Remember that? How is that moving to the right? Now, the one, you know, like a lot of liberals, okay, a lot of conservative-minded people, I will believe that he's moved to the right when it comes to taxes, because he's making so much money now, and he is a business person. So when it comes to taxes, we probably agree with him a lot. But no, he is not. He was a very open, vocal supporter of Bernie Sanders. No. No, you got to be. Yes. So I don't think he's moving to the right. Everyone is always welcome. Everyone is always welcome. I haven't told anybody they can't be here or be a part of this unless they're a troll, you know, except the trolls that spam the room. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I got things to do. But again, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video. And when will you let Andrea? I didn't ban Andrea. I didn't tell Andrea not to call or watch. If she's not watching or not calling, that's her choice. I didn't tell her. Didn't ban. Didn't block. Didn't anything. You know. How many of our callers have I put the screws to? Richie, the bus driver, even, and Richie's a friend of mine. You know, I've spent like weeks at sea with Richie. On our first cruise, his cabin was next to mine for a week. We were talking to each other on the balcony. You know, no, I don't. For somebody to get banned, they have to do something pretty hardcore. Irish soup. What is Irish soup? What is Irish soup, Jacqueline? I love soup. Irish soup. It must involve potatoes. Or maybe that's just a stereotype. You know, I discuss a lot on the air, you know, and with you guys. I'm pretty transparent on as much as I possibly can be. If I'm not, it's just for a reason, but I'm pretty transparent. I'm guessing Irish cabbage. I don't know. It's gotta. If it's Irish, I think potatoes. Well, hey, you know. I felt humiliated many times in my life. I'm sure it'll happen again. You know. I've had things happen to me on the air many times that were humiliating. Yes, Brian, vegetables and potato. Oh man, you know what? I just felt a stomach pain. Come on. I just heard it. Oh man, that made me hungry. Vegetables and potato. That sounds good. Oh man. Yeah, usually, see, I don't eat in the morning before I come to work because if I eat in the morning, it kind of makes me tired. So Kathy and I get lunch pretty much every day together. If we don't have it at home, we'll go out and get lunch every day. That's like the one meal a day I eat. But after I get off the air, I am starving because I've been up a long time, and I can't eat before the show in the morning. But vegetables and potato, that sounds really good. What I like in soup is lots of pepper. I love pepper. Big pepper guy. All right, I'm going to take off, but hey everyone, thanks for watching. Jacqueline made me hungry, so I'm going to go get some food.